American half pound of 2 pure beef patties, lettuce, tomato.
Singles going steady.
This is Singles Going Steady, the podcast dedicated to exploring great singles with a particular eye to the punk, new wave, Scottish, and DIY eras of the last century. I'm Steve McGowan.
And I'm Adrienne Meddock. We're in a band, the Beef People, who released a single in 1986 on our own label, Zub Records. But we're also record collectors and passionate especially about the expression of pop music perfection that is the single recording. Exploring the mystery of what makes for a great single is what propelled us to begin this podcast. And this is episode of Singles Going Steady.
Number 083.
083. And we definitely have a song that broke the code on the mystery of great singles, which is Aztec Camera.
Yes.
Scottish group, and there's mainly Roddy Frame, the songwriter and singer, and the great song Oblivious.
Yes, so good, so good. Aztec Camera from Scotland, from the Glasgow area, my hometown. Another Scottish band. We've been talking about them a lot in our last few podcasts, Scottish bands. He came up through the Postcard Records, independent Glasgow record label that is known for Orange Juice and Edwyn Collins, among other, the Pastels and some other bands.
It's Edwyn Collins' label, right?
Yes, and he got snapped up pretty quick. This single is from 1983. It's the first cut on his first album as Aztec Camera.
Ooh, we have another quinky dink. We've got 83 and 1983.
It is. And the album is called Highland Hard Rain. And
that album played it over and over and over.
They call it, reading about it, they call it jangle pop, but I don't agree with that at all.
This is like the great songbook, right?
Yeah.
There's the Great
It's
American Songbook.
It's got a lot more jazz to it, I think.
Yeah, and I've read that my father's favorite was Wes Montgomery, and I know that was a real inspiration
for Roddy.
For Roddy, and you could do worse than that for sure.
You sure could. And he was 18 when he wrote most of these songs, and it's just kind of astounding when you listen to them. The songs on Highland Hard Rain. But let's talk about Oblivious.
Okay.
He said that he wrote it to be on top of the pops.
Yeah, I mean, he has, in some ways it reminds me of Nick Lowe, that he's somebody that is a songwriter as like a professional songwriter.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Somebody that takes a craftsman. That's like, I know what ingredients go into a good song.
Right.
And,
I know how to place the ingredients. I know how long to cook them. And for being basically, a teen at the time and saying, okay, I know the ingredients that I need to have a song that will capture the ears and hearts of the listeners and get me on top of the pops, or get the song on the top of the pops. And that's unabashed, right? To not be afraid of going for success. Saying I'm going to do this and doing it.
And then actually the world following along, right?
So let's listen to the song. It's called Oblivious. It was released in 1983. It's on Sire Records in the U.S., and it was released in the U.S. as a 7-inch. I have one. It's got that really cool sleeve with like the blue guitar sort of drawing on it, very Picasso-y.
I think I have a 12-inch.
Yes, it was released in 12 as well. So anyway, enough of our yapping. Let's listen to Aztec Camera from 1983, Oblivious.
They'll call us cell phone. They'll call us lonely when we're really just alone. Like a funny film, it's kinda cute. They bought the bullets and there's no one left to shoot. I hear your footsteps in the street, we'll go on before we do. It's obvious. Just come here, come me out.
So what makes that a great single?
Well, what doesn't really? I mean,
It's universal.
Yes.
It soars.
his vocal is beautiful.
Yes.
The lyrics are just amazing.
It's entrancing.
Yes, and it's got that acoustic guitar that kind of does a little jazz thing, and it's got a little kind of rumba percussion going on in the background.
It's almost otherworldly. It's, I mean, we say it's 1983, but it doesn't have that stamp or...
It doesn't have that new wave sound.
Yeah, that new wave scent. Right?
Right.
It's stilted or caught in amber in 1983.
Very classic pop sounding.
Yeah,
Very, I love it when he goes into that little solo on the acoustic guitar. It's not a super fancy solo. I mean, I couldn't play it, but he, he uses the repeated notes, and the chorus is just, it soars, with the backing vocals and everything. It's catchy as hell.
And this is just it's pop perfection.
Yes,
I mean, it
I
really
agree.
is. But pop in the sense of the, in a broader sense.
Yes.
That you could have. This could have been on the radio in the 40s. It could have been in
or the 60s.
It's got a timelessness, and it's.
It does not sound like an 18-year-old.
My gosh, it's just astounding.
Yes.
I mean, what a prodigy! What a prodigy!
Well, how mature is this?
What planet did this guy come from? Right,
Planet Glasgow.
right. So it's just the boy.
Yeah.
What's
The boy wonders.
yeah, exactly. And he was. It just flowed out of him.
Yeah.
I mean that.
Lots of good songs.
I'm at a loss for words because it's the song really stands on its own.
And you were talking about Nick Lowe, and Roddy was compared, which I think is unfavorable to Costello some. And he certainly doesn't have any of that angry young man thing.
No.
And he doesn't have that kind of jagged wordplay. Either,
right. No, his words are so, he's not acrobatic with his lyrics.
Exactly.
It's not like let's see what I can do. Right? Hey, Ma, watch this.
Look what I did here. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a triple backflip. Right.
And his music is more sophisticated. I mean, the guitar chords and the it's not
because it's got the true sort of jazzy edge.
Yes. So, but he did tour with Elvis.
Right, we saw that.
We famously saw him, Aztec Camera, Roddy, and his band with Elvis and the TKO Horns and the Attractions in 1983 at the Fox Theater in Atlanta.
Yeah, that was some show.
Yeah, they were doing the Punch the Clock tour. And I think Aphrodisiac was there too.
Right, right.
So he had backing singers, he had horns. They're talking about Elvis here. He was amazing. But Roddy Frame came on with Aztec Camera and
had
held
nothing.
his own. Yeah.
Went
over a storm, just up there playing his guitar and singing and killing it with the songs. No light show, nothing fancy. Just beautiful songs and beautiful playing.
He's so does such a wonderful job singing and playing his own songs that I don't think things get covered in the way that they ought to because they're sort of fully realized perfect pieces.
Right. Yeah.
But certainly these songs in the hands of another a great singer would stand up quite well.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that at the end when we talk about covering. But that was just an amazing show. I still remember it after all these years, how good both bands were, but especially Aztec Camera was just a treat.
Right.
And I think after that, we already had the record, but to see him play was like, oh my! And
he can do it live,
yeah,
right? Because the record, you're like, is this magic that's going on?
Right.
I know. I mean, he's absolutely the real thing.
Yeah.
And he's still playing.
Yes, he is. Aztec Camera doesn't exist anymore, but Roddy is still a going concern, and I think they released 6 records total. I remember Knife being a good record, and Love. I don't have a couple of the other ones, but Highland Hard Rain is just, I mean, there is...
Desert Island Disc sort of thing.
The Boy Wonders, Walk Out to Winter.
Oh, yeah.
The Bugle
Swear I'll
Sounds
Be There.
Again. Pillar to Post. I mean, it's just...
It's a great
it's an
album.
astounding record.
Yeah,
It's got a lot of really
the
good songs on it.
consistency, the level of quality,
Yes.
and again, it's got that great. It's not the great American
Right.
songbook or the great Scottish songbook, but
Right.
it's the great songbook.
Songbook,
I mean,
yeah.
you know, these are songs that should be standards.
And this is not really, I would not call this punk music in
No.
any way, sense, or form. You know, it's just great pop.
Right.
Jazz pop or whatever. Just great, like you said, just great songwriting.
Yeah.
We love Oblivious. It's a great song. We love Roddy
It worked,
Frame.
Roddy.
Yeah.
It worked, right?
Yeah.
It's on the top of my pops.
Yeah, they did really well with the single, and as well they should have. And we'll have a link to they have a cute little video for it too. That's looks really out of date now, but
Well,
but we'll link to
it
that
can't
for
all
sure.
bear up to the passage of time.
So, who do you hear covering Oblivious?
You know, I was thinking a really good R&B singer,
Okay,
and I was thinking of Anita Baker.
really?
Yeah,
Wow.
you know, with her range and you know, because of course Roddy doesn't have those low lows, but
Right.
But sort of hearing Anita Baker sort of all over, you know, the vocal range,
Right.
really kind of bringing the gravitas.
Okay. Yeah, that could be very interesting.
Yeah.
I was thinking about something more 60s classic. I was wondering what it would be like to maybe get somebody like the Hollies to do a song like this.
Oh yeah,
With the
that would be
backing vocals
great.
and everything. You
Yeah.
know? Kind of put a 60s
Yes.
spin on that, and with those voices, they could really
Oh, yeah.
pull it off. I think. you
Yeah,
know,
they
so-
had the chops.
Yeah. Now, do we have recommendations?
Do you have any recommendations?
I do, and my recommendation is for you to go to my hometown. We've talked enough about these Scottish bands, and I think you should, if you ever get a chance, you should go to Glasgow, Scotland. People go to Scotland and they go to Edinburgh, which is the capital city, and that's where the big castle is. And it's a great place to buy a kilt, and it's very touristy. It's cool. I'm not going to slag it too much, but Glasgow is where it really happens. That was the center of shipbuilding. It used to be a very, very rough city. I remember being there when I was young, about 40 years ago, and it was pretty scary. Things have changed tremendously. It's a Victorian city. The architecture is amazing. The brownstones, the buildings.
Charles Benny McIntosh.
Yes, everywhere. Macintosh everywhere. Kelvin Grove, George's Square, the tea rooms. If you like art, if you like architecture, it's just a beautiful city. There's a lot, there's a lot of music. There's a lot of great Indian food, like everywhere in Britain. If you ever get a chance, if you're over there, please take the time and go see Glasgow. Don't spend all your time in Edinburgh. You can spend some, but you can take the train. It only takes about an hour to go from one to the other. It's a good thing about Britain. It's not so spread out as the U.S. So that's my recommendation. Find out where all these great Scottish bands are.
Yeah,
are from.
you could take the musical tour, right?
Yes, there are some. Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I don't think I can top that.
Okay. Well, then that is our show for today. Singles Going Steady, 083. The amazing, precocious Roddy Frame. His unbelievable songwriting.
Boy genius.
Yes.
Man genius.
He just
Genius,
we love
genius.
him. It's just, I was telling you, we were, before I came to visit for this visit, I was listening to some stuff for this podcast, and I was listening to Aztec Camera, and I was tearing up. It was so good. I mean,
It's that sort of music.
It's that
it's
kind of music,
incredibly moving. It's very
I was
visceral.
like, I love this so
yeah.
much. It's just, and it kind of made me I'm such a
Yeah,
mess.
it pushes the buttons.
Yes, it really did.
Visceral sort of overused as a term, but it does cause a physical reaction, I think.
So that's what good art does. And that's our show for this week. Check out Aztec Camera and Oblivious and Highland Hard Rain. And we will talk to you very soon.
Yes.
Bye now. To learn more about the artists and recordings we just talked about, visit our website at zubrecords.com and click on the Singles Going Steady icon.
You'll also find links to the persons, places, and things we recommend, and much more.
You can find episodes of Singles Going Steady on our website or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Singles Going Steady is brought to you by the power and majesty of Zub Records. Zub Records. Smart sounds for sharp people.